Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit about budgeting for yourself, personal budgeting. So whenever we have young people, or even sometimes older people, talk to me about personal budgeting, so I said, so how do you do a budget? So he said, well, I have to have rent so much, I have entertainment so much, my car so much, right? And etc., etc., etc. Okay? Now that's normally how people budget, agree? Okay. But it is not correct. I tell you why. Because what's the purpose of working? Is the purpose of working earning a big salary, or is the purpose of working to save money? Yeah. So you are right. The most important purpose of working is to save money. That is more important before you do that first. Correct? So the budgeting cannot be starting from cost. Right? Saving money is like a profit. You have your income less your expenses. What do you have left? This is your profit lah. Every company must have a profit, every person must have a profit. Because if you don't have a profit, you can't make ends meet, and one day you get into a financial trouble. Right? So this is the most important thing to learn. So if you agree this is the most important thing to learn, how must you do budgeting? So the budgeting starts this way. You should actually budget this way. I'm going to give you an example now. Say you earn $1,000. Okay? So you must already start with, I'm going to have a profit of course, it's $1,000, you cannot have that much profit lah, right? Some people are lucky, some people are not lucky. So let's just say we only go for 10% profit, $100. So I must take the profit first. Make sense? So you have $900 left. Now we start the budgeting. You understand how? Because this has automatic. I must put it in the saving. Right? So then you have a 900. So now we talk about what is the most important expense. Actually, for most people, the most important expense is housing. Agreed? The biggest expense actually is housing. So housing, I just want to share with you what is called expenses which you can't help it, and what is discretionary expenses. Correct? So for example, housing. So you can say, I will budget 20%. 20 is 180, right? You should start this way. So, of course, there are many things you can do. You can sleep on the street. This is one housing also, right? I just want to open your mind to see what are all the possibilities, right? You can rent a room. This could be from friends, from outside. Okay? Or a lot of us are lucky, we actually get a room from our parents. Agreed? Now, it gets a little bit more sophisticated when you can afford to buy a house. Again, you are going to start with 20-25%. Okay? Actually, in housing, it's 20 to maybe 30%. You should not spend more than that, actually. Because once you spend more than that, you will find out that other area you'll be in trouble. Agreed? Now, I always tell young people that if you're lucky you're staying with your parents, is it really free? Huh? You should be kind enough to say, okay, I know I have to spend 180 ringgit, but tell mommy and daddy I can only afford 100 lah, right? Never mind, they are very happy. As long as you give them some money, they are definitely very happy. Agree or not? Because you must have in the habit of paying rent, you know. Because one day you are out on yourself, you will be paying rent. But right now you are lucky. So by right, let's say for example you budget 180 and you decide to pay your parents 100, you already have a profit of 80. What should you do with the 80? Have a good time? No. this actually should go here. So now your saving is 180. But most people don't do that. This money, they go out for having fun. You understand? You must think like that, right? So after housing, what is the next most important expense? Huh? Transportation, right? Okay, so again, you must think from there and decide how much it's going to cost you. I'm taking 100 as a basis. Say for example, you can only afford $100. Probably exceeding more than 10% is going to be difficult for your budget because you have not talked about food yet. We're not talking about clothing yet, right? Now, what I want you to do again is thinking of transport like I make you think like this. Okay. Of course, the ideal is if you can walk to work. Make sense? Zero transportation cost and you got exercise done in. Alright? The next is you can also use a bicycle. Of course, motorbike. Right? Then if you're going to transport a car already, what's the smallest car today?
Viva.
Viva. Of course, you are thinking new one, I'm thinking second hand. Agree? All the way up to one day a Mercedes-Benz or BMW, right? You understand the wide range is possible, right? Now you have to tweak this a little bit because if you can walk to work, you save this money, right? So if you can save this money, you can actually take part of the money and pay higher rent. It's still okay, no? You still save, right? But then again, you say, no, I need a transport, right? And again, transport is what you're going to, because what I'm saying is this, you must get into the mind of thinking up to motorbike or even bus, right? I didn't even put bus yet. Where is it? After biking is probably a bus. Huh? So this will be, okay, this money you cannot save because otherwise you won't be able to earn a living. Agreed? This is discretionary. Agree or not? This is discretionary actually. So you got to be careful what is necessary and what is discretionary. And to me, discretionary is all about your lifestyle. My friend has a Hanchill, my friend has a Viva, I want to show off. Well, that's the point of life, right? Okay? So be aware that here, I want you to start thinking what is necessary and what is discretionary. Correct? Okay, so this is how because you can't, this cannot be zero. But if you are getting this to about 20-30%, you will find out that you don't have enough. Okay? Then after transport come one. Let's say you're living alone, not living with parents, right? What will come next? Normally, food is probably bigger. Agree? Okay. Food will run how much? Okay? Roughly 20%. This is 20%. Okay, again food. You got to understand food is what food. Well, we just put food and beverage. You must learn to differentiate between, again, necessity and discretion. Okay, necessity, what I need to eat to live, right? What I must, and I'm not talking about really being cheap about it, right? It should be decent. Then the discretion is, I'm going to eat at Fridays, I'm going to go to the pub for dinner, then the drink. These are again discretionary. You really don't have to do that. Or you can cook yourself. If you can cook yourself, it's much cheaper. Agree or not? Okay, again, I'm going to tell you this is discretionary. But you must know the difference. So by right, you should have what is called food necessity, and then there should be an entertainment here. Agree? You should split out the budget is what I'm trying to tell you. So after food, what is next? Huh? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Clothing.
Clothing, yeah, right. Clothing, what can you afford? Maybe 5% may be enough because 60 maybe not enough. $100 is not enough. Maybe you're earning 10,000, 5% is enough. Maybe 10%. Again, you can't. You see, you're running out of percentages. You know. Okay. So if you take 10%, 100. Again, clothes. Do you know what the fashion industry is all about? Why is there a fashion industry? What's the purpose of fashion industry? Can you guess?
To sell their product.
Yeah. On what? In what way? Huh?
Updated books.
Yeah. They are selling you obsolescence. In other words, the fashion industry, in every branding thing, they are trying to make the new fashion different so that when you wear the last year's fashion, everybody will look down on you. So it's peer pressure for you to buy the latest fashion, right? You can afford it, go ahead now. But again, this should be discretion, right? So clothing, you have the necessity and again the discretion. Okay. So the areas that I mentioned, which are all discretionary, is a lifestyle issue. You know, you can't afford everything. So you got to decide, okay, maybe I don't care that I'm wearing old clothes, you know, but I love food. Okay, so I'm going to stinge here, go down 5%, and then I'll take another 5% and have a more entertainment. It's okay. These are lifestyle decisions where you have to decide, right? Okay. Then we will have utility, but a lot of time utility is relatively small in the overall frame of mind, right? So linked to that, I will put housing plus utility here. But normally it's not much. So this is the bulk of the expense. So the question here is, this is discretionary. Discretionary. Agreed? Right? Okay, one more thing I'm just going to teach you is this. The other day, I think I was doing this, explaining the same thing one day, and we talked about credit card. Okay, credit card interest, is it discretionary or necessity? Yes, you're right. So when you charge credit card, the interest is discretionary. Okay? Right? Because you don't have to use credit card. And by the way, credit card interest is the highest, the most expensive is about 18%. If you can't, you know, most people, you know, you read about Warren Buffett, he is very happy to get 15% return. So credit card, you are paying 18%, right? So be careful, right? So anyway, this is discretionary. Now, you know, it doesn't matter what you do here now. If you can follow this way of thinking, I'm not scared. You know why? Because you have taken your profit already. All I'm asking you to do is whatever balance, you balance between here, and as long as you learn what is necessity and what is discretionary, you're on a good track already. Make sense or not? Alright, the question is this, because of safety concern, my parents said this become a necessity rather than discretionary. The answer is very simple. Like I said, the last comment I made just now was, I'm not scared because you have already taken your profit. So out of here, if this is a necessity, I already told you just now, you have to choose among all your discretionary. Correct? So if you have this as a necessity, then you have to reduce other places. You have no choice. Correct?
If we take that as a necessary, then the others will be like totally cut off. Then
Well, I put it this way. Okay, let us take your percentage now. You don't have to tell me the dollar. Out of the 100% now, how much are you going to be spending on the car?
25%.
25%.
More than that, 30%.
Okay. So, truthfully speaking, you should not be spending 30% here, right? Because it's too much. Okay? You really can't afford it. But you are lucky in the sense you're staying at home, right?
Yes.
Right. So basically, what you are doing is you are taking this 10%, 20%, and you are subsidizing here.
Because there is
Also
a
very
new car.
Huh?
New car need 30%, but if let's say when we cannot afford, we need to buy a second-hand car first.
Correct.
My parents said don't buy second hand.
No. But what I mean to say is that, no, I know those constraints come in. That's where you decide, right? So basically, you pay 30%, but you are staying at home, right?
But I pay my parents more than I pay rental.
Okay, then you have to negotiate with your parents. You just tell your parents, sorry, this is like learning how to negotiate. You just say, I love you very much, but I really can't afford 30%, right? And I can't reduce you here because you are concerned about my safety. I agree. Therefore, I can only afford so much to pay you. You negotiate. I'm sure they will understand, right? Okay. That's how you negotiate. Because if you have another 25% and 30%, you're already at 55%. You're going to live on thin air.
But Mr. Tan, actually, if let's say we stay at home, the food also we can save.
Yeah. Yeah, you also save something on food.
That's why pay more to parents.
But like I said, you have to know, you have to have negotiation skill, right? You tell your parents that, look, by right, if I take this now, anyway, you can do this calculation, you can negotiate with them already. You should say, I cannot afford more than this, uncle, I want to save so much first. This is for my future. Saving, the profit is for your future. Don't forget, one day you suddenly get sick, where does the money come from? It has to be from your profit, but you can buy insurance also, you can buy medical insurance to a certain amount, right? Of course, we also cover you to a certain point in the company, so you don't worry about that much, and when you're young, you don't worry about it also. But they are, what they call it, emergency expenses. But fundamentally, knowing what I'm teaching you today, you just do this sequentially backwards. I'm sure you know how to talk to your parents already. Make sense? So you can say that, look, I'm paying you this much, I will love to continue to pay you, but now you tell me I must have this car and I can't afford it, and you won't let me do this. It's okay, then I can't contribute this now. Let me pay off this car. Let me pay off this car. When I finish paying off the car, I will pay you more. It's okay, man. I'm sure they'll be very happy. And more than that, they'll be very happy that you know how to negotiate with them. Right?